York nightlife and the club scene?
Absolutely, absolutely. So in high school, I was working for an entertainment DJ company. We would do bar mitzvahs and whatnot. This is high school and college, actually. That was my gig, okay, on the weekends. And we had choreographed routines at this gig. And so, the choreographer, Courtney French, I don't know if you know his name, but he would take us out to the clubs because he was a big house head. And so it all started like Monday night Mel, Tuesday night Wonder Bar, Wednesday night Sound Factory Bar. Wednesday night was Disco 2000, Limelight. Thursday night was Sound Factory Bar.
Yes, legendary club.
And so it was legendary club that we were in the circles, dancing in the circles with our little briefcases and coming in with, baby powder, sneakers. And so it was all practice. The club was practice.
Yes.
It was all practice. We were practicing for our routines. We were practicing to just get better and fine-tune our craft. And so, during the day I was in the studio, and at night I was in the clubs. And that was really how I first entered the whole New York City nightlife club scene.
All right. And tell us what it was like back then in the clubs, in those legendary clubs. Because I know it's totally different in the club that we have going on today.
Oh, honey, there is no clubs today. I don't know what's going on today.
Shame. Yes.
Am I wrong?
No.
Am I wrong?
No, you're entitled to your opinion. This is why we have the radio show. We want to discuss things like this. What are some of the things that were different between back then and now?
Well, now it's all about, what is she wearing? What is he wearing? What, who's coming in? It's just, now it's lounges and drinks, and everyone obviously is on their phones, right?
Right.
We didn't have the phones back then, and like I said, we were in jeans and sneakers, and we would perch the club, and it was about the music, and it was about the dance, and it was about the DJ, and it was about the beats.
Word.
And it was about the stretching, and it was about the battling. We were battling.
Wait a minute, Perch the Clubs. I haven't heard that in a minute. That's a legendary.
There you go. You see? Nobody says Perch the Clubs anymore. There you go.
Wow. Absolutely. What were some of your best times in these clubs? You have any good memories?
I have lots of great memories.
Oh,
I remember going to the Wonder Bar and seeing Grace Jones just sitting there with a long cigarette, because back in the day we could smoke in the club.
Right.
And she was topless, just sitting there with a long cigarette. And I lived for that. I wish I could take a picture. I wish I had the picture of her. That was a fabulous memory. I loved going to the Limelight. And, I don't know if this is a fabulous memory, but the smell of what happening in the room. That's quite a memory that no longer comes across our way.
Right.
But no, the best memories was when I had my very first straddle, and that was at Sound Factory Bar. There I am, professional young dancer to be, training at the ballet bar every day, going across the floor, very strenuous training, and there I am at the club, and I sat in my very first straddle on that dance floor in the club.
Ooh, the tea.
That was a cute memory. That's a cute memory.
Wow.
It happened at the club. It wasn't in the dance class.
That's an iconic memory, honey.
That's an iconic memory. It was in the club, not the dance class.
Wow.
Yes.
Tell us how you were introduced and what you were introduced to in the New York houses and the New York City ballroom scene.
Okay, so it was Tuesday night at the Wonder Bar, and I'm with Courtney and my friends. We're doing our thing, and we're voguing. We're also voguing, and Robert Infinity spooks me and takes me over and takes me to Willie and Rudy and Baron, and they're like, "You gotta meet this girl," and whatever. We just started kikiing with each other, and a little before you know it, we connected, we bonded, we fell in love with each other, and next thing you know, I'm in Willie's apartment in Corona, Queens, at a club meeting, at an Infinity meeting.
Wow.
And next thing you know, I'm in Infinity.
Yeah. So you was Infinity first, correct?
Correct.
Wow.
Correct.
Amazing. Work. And what was that like for you? Do you remember? What are some of some of the things that you liked about Infinity that made you become Infinity?
I love the Infinities. They brought me into the scene. Let's start with that.
Yeah, shout out to my house Infinity, honey. No shade.
We love the House of Infinity. They brought me into the scene. They trained me. They nurtured me. They took me to the first ball. And don't ask me what the first ball was, honey. That's too long ago. But don't ask that question.
Okay. We won't spook.
Don't do that to me. But yeah, and like I said, I would go to the meetings. And for me, being a dancer, a young dancer, training to become a professional dancer, this was just all like the cherry on top.
Right. Oh, wow. Amazing. That is iconic, classic ballroom right there. Okay. Everyone knows, and if they don't know, well, now they know. Okay. You are one of the first biological females in ballroom scene, following in the footsteps of legendary Amy Extravaganza. How was it being one of the first females in the ballroom scene, and what category or categories did you walk?
Well, first off, I feel very fabulous the way you're presenting this, but I have no idea. I have no idea.
You don't know.
Thank you. I had no idea that I'm one of the first females. I mean, it was not, like I said, I was just a young girl who came out because I'm dancing already. So it was just an extension of the classroom for me, truth of the matter. And so when I came in to the whole scene, for me it was like, it was a safe gang. And I felt honored. I felt I had a family. I felt that, I was learning how to give an attitude, and not an attitude like in dance, but an attitude like with the face, with the whole body attitude when I'm performing.
Yes.
With art.
It was an element to your craft.
Yes. It was just giving me strength as a performer. That's what the whole scene was for me. And that's how it influenced my art later on. And being one of the first females, I'd never, ever thought of that throughout the process. I never knew that. Let's start with, I knew of Amy Extravaganza. And I remember Julian always telling me, Amy Extravaganza, Amy Extravaganza, Amy Extravaganza. And I never met her, by the way, which I would love to have met her, but okay, I never met her. But I had always respected her because I knew she came before me. I didn't know that she was the one and only, and then I came. It wasn't like that. There was also Delilah Milan at the same time as I was out in the scene.
Wow.
And so I never, for me it wasn't like we're the only women. It just, although it was very clear we were. And it was clear because during all the categories, during Women's Vogue category, it was always Delilah and I performing. Either Delilah or myself or both of us or whatever. It was but it wasn't like, that wasn't the part of it that was in my brain.
Right. Actually, it was more about fun and competition and, the craft and the art, right?
Absolutely. It was all fun. Who was I competing against? It wasn't like competition for me. It was really just about practice.
Showcasing.
Performing.
Yeah.
It was just another avenue of performance.
That's the perfect word. You did it. Yeah. Wow.
And it was fun. I loved it. It was great. It was great memory. I'm glad I grew up in that time.
How do you feel now that you know that you're one of the first biological females to influence other females in the ballroom scene?
And you're a pioneer.
Ooh. What do you mean, how do I feel?
How does it feel?
Yes, I'm not the only, by far.
Yeah, how does it feel to know that you inspire people with your talent?
That's wonderful. I hope I inspire people with all my talents in every direction, in every avenue I touch. I want to help and inspire. That's what I do. I think it's great.
Okay, there's something, that everybody knows, and we're going to spill the tea. We heard that you did Team Vogue performance too. Tell us a little bit about that.
I don't know where you heard that. I actually never did Team Vogue performance, and I'm not familiar with it.
Really?
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah. Where'd you hear that?
That was no. I actually, I've asked around and I've tried to, get the best information, and this is one of the things I've heard. I've heard that you've done women's Vogue categories back in the day. So,
women's Vogue.
Did you ever do Vogue tag team performance or team Vogue performance?
No, not in my memory. You know what? It's been a minute, so I'm not going to say no, but not that I recall.
Okay, understandable.
The only category I remember clearly walking was women's Vogue.
Right,
that was my
I was
category.
just about to get into that. Let's talk a little bit about women's Vogue. Tell us about that. Back in the days.
So I don't know how it's different from today, except that there's actually a lot more females from what I understand and imagine. It's obviously old school Vogue.
Right.
I don't know the new school Vogue. I left the scene in the mid-'90s, so I don't know new school. I don't know how it's different from today. It is, you're in a room, and there's all the different houses, and there's a group of judges, and when they announce the category, you step up to the plate and do your thing.
All right, tell us your experience while you were walking women's Vogue categories back then.
My experience walking women's Vogue categories back then, it was cute, it was fun. I was a small little white girl, and competing and having a good time, and I don't know what to say about my experience. It was definitely a rewarding experience. It was wonderful as you're walking the runway and you're hearing whack, 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 whack.
Okay.
It's fun.
Okay,
it was fun.
Did you have any rivals? Were there, any balls that you've won?
I'm sorry?
Did you have any rivals when you were walking women's Vogue, or?
Yes. There was one. Well, I'm sure there were. I'm sure I competed, but there was one particular incident I remember. It was the ABC ball. Don't ask me who I battled. I can't remember her name. I remember her face. I would recognize her. But I remember really, working it. And at the end of the day, I didn't get the trophy. And I was kind of devastated because I admit I was a little spoiled, and I expected to win. And when I didn't win, I was like, oh well, it wasn't fair. I got over it quickly. All my brothers and sisters were not happy. I got a call from Roger Milan, may he rest in peace. And he called me to his house, and he said, I watched the video, and I'm devastated that you didn't get the trophy. Here's the trophy. You won the category.
Wow.
And very shortly after, he also him and Julian were like, oh, she needs to be a Milan. And I went from Infinity to Milan after the ABC ball.
Oh, wow. Shout out to the House of Milan. Now, did you identify yourself as a straight heterosexual female in the ballroom scene?
Yes, I am a straight heterosexual female in the ballroom scene. However, I'm not one to label myself as anything. I am a straight woman. I never dated and had any relationship with women. But it's not I don't label myself, if that makes sense.
Right,
okay,
right.
Cool. All right.
Back in the days, the old school LGBT community used the term fag hag. How do you feel about this term? Does it offend you?
Once again, I don't feel good about labels.
Okay.
I don't label. The world is not black and white. I hang out with homosexuals. I hung out with a bunch of straight people as well. So it's not, black, white, purple, green, gay, straight. That was all good for me. Like, it was never, and still is. So I don't label. I don't like to label.
Okay.
But no, it didn't offend me. It was a thing. You're a fag hag. Okay, I'm a fag hag. Whatever. I'm a fag hag.
Okay, it's just a term, basically. Okay,
whatever.
Tell us about the Mark Ballroom days. Shade Fest, New York City, the ABC Ball, and the Fireball in New York and in New Jersey.
The Fireball in New Jersey, I don't remember ever going to. But if you saw me there, I believe you.
Okay. You were definitely there.
The Mark Ballroom. Listen, this is 20 years ago. This is some time ago. The Mark Ballroom, I remember it was Union Square, wasn't it? 14th Street.
Right.
I mean, I remember this big, gorgeous room. I think it was one of the first few balls that I went to. And the ABC ball we spoke about already, right?
The Shade Fest.
Shade Fest. I remember